Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy early mornings. The reverse version of this recording I tried to do in character. I was like, I can't stay in character for the entire recording. But happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Hope you are good and safe. If you have kiddies around that are sort of dealing with the issue that you can't really trick or treat this Halloween, then bring them to the camera and sit around. This will be a children-friendly video. There will be no, below the belt jokes on this recording. So happy Halloween. Halloween's around the corner on this Saturday. The question is whether you're going to get a stimulus check for Halloween from Nancy Pelosi if you knock on her door. Needless to say, I don't think you are. Hey, good early morning, everybody. Hope you're good and safe. There's great news around the corner and around the curve, and it'll make a lot more sense than what I'm wearing on my head today. So I'm so glad that you woke up for our lighthearted early mornings broadcast every day here on 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, part of the 2 1-hour programming block. The next video comes up at the bottom of the hour. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please go to the front of the channel, subscribe, because who's giving you Halloween and all the gobbles and ghouls throughout the rest of the year, which are, currently members of the House of Representatives. And also, like this video. In this video, I will be going over the major breaking news overnight, which are the new poll numbers in the battleground states and why this could impact your stimulus. I almost said that in character. Your stimulus, and why these battleground states could determine the future of not just the presidency, but the Senate, and why all eyes are still on the Senate and Nancy Pelosi's focus to unseat it and make it go Democratic. Next, new comments surfaced overnight between Biden and Trump, and they actually impact your stimulus. More about that in a second. Then I will be going over what you should expect today with Wall Street. Wall Street's expected to trade up. Initial futures suggest that concerns about lockdowns, concerns about coronavirus, and concerns about stimulus are not gone, but that Wall Street is slightly optimistic, at least to start the new morning. But you know what comes out at 5 o'clock this morning. Yeah, more about that in a second. Oh, and also, this is an enhanced viewing experience. So if you're new to Early Mornings LA, you're in for a lot of fun this morning. On the right of this video is a live chat, and because this is an instant premiere, you can follow along and chat with your Purple Power buddies while this video is going live. It's a unique feature only featured on Early Mornings LA, and while the video debuts live for the first time at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can chat along, become part of the chat, super chat, and all interact with your favorite friends during this recording. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is what comes out at 5 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time today, which is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That is the new jobless claims number. The new jobless claims number is not expected to be good. The question is whether it's moderate, decent, or promising. Last week, the jobs number was substantially improving, but it wasn't enough to just go out and celebrate with $12 ice cream. The number had its best drop since, I think it was almost July. So it showed an enormous amount of improvement. The question is whether that improvement will continue, or whether it will be flat or go the other direction. Moreover, analysts are now not really concerned about that jobless number anymore as much as the concern about what the new jobless numbers could be in the weeks to come. Let me explain what's going on. Initially, when we were looking at jobless numbers, we were focused on jobless numbers in the state of the current pandemic of the COVID-19 condition. Now, as of last Thursday, with 83,000 new COVID-19 cases in a day, breaking all record numbers on Friday and Saturday. A 7-day average now breaking also all record numbers. Those people are not going to be working. Those people will be out of work. But the bigger concern is lockdowns. And as more lockdowns are announced, jobless number claims will go up. Remember, this Thursday number is the new jobless numbers. These are people who are newly on jobless claims. And the concern ultimately is whether Congress will take this number to heart or not. Over time, we have seen this number not improve, and Republicans have said, hey, you know, it's really great. Yeah, you don't need stimulus. No, I mean, it's been 33 weeks of the number at 1 trillion plus. 1 million plus, and then it fell to high 800,000s, and now it's starting to tinker down, but it's nothing to be excited about. Wall Street is expected to open flat or slightly up. Needless to say, the three economic concerns are not gone, and Wall Street is expected to be volatile today. This is ultimately impacting your stimulus because everyone's looking at the issues that are impacting stimulus, which are COVID-19 cases ravaging out of control, new concerns about lockdowns, and lack of stimulus, lack of second stimulus, a lack of third stimulus, lack of progress on anything stimulus related. The good news is that the stimulus discussion remains front page, and that ultimately Wall Street is blaming Congress. They're blaming Congress on the inability to get it done, and they're focusing on that going forward, and they're not getting off message. They're staying on that concern. Wall Street is expected to think about stimulus, talk about stimulus every single day, all the way up until election night, with volatility expected to continue every day. Overnight, Joe Biden and Donald Trump did speak about stimulus, but not directly on point, tangentially, but it's very important what they said. Trump is now painting Joe Biden as the candidate who will give you a lot of lockdowns. Ironically, Trump should have, gone in a little deeper and said, Biden is a candidate who's going to give you lockdowns, and Nancy Pelosi is the one who's not going to give you stimulus checks for it. We all know that's very much true. Nancy Pelosi had you on lockdown in March, April, May, and guess how many stimulus checks she gave you? Either 0 or 1. She gave you 1 if you are an adult, non-dependent, and a watered-down check if you're a child. But if you are an adult dependent, she gave you 0. And that was for 3 months. So how many stimulus checks is Nancy Pelosi going to give you if there's a lockdown tomorrow? None. The stimulus package she's proposed now is to cover you for what's happened in the past. And that's 1 stimulus check. And she's barely giving you that at all. She wants to give you $1,200 if you're an adult. And she wants to give you $500 if you're a child. And she wants to give you $1,000 if you're adult dependent. And that's for what's happened before. So what's going forward? December. January, late November. How many stimulus checks is she going to give you if Joe Biden gives you a lockdown? None. Now understand, Trump's comments are sort of off kilter because Joe Biden or any president has no authority to issue lockdowns. This is not like France. This is not like, Australia. The lockdowns have to be announced by counties, states, or governors. It's not announced on a national level. But this is what Trump said overnight. If you vote for Joe Biden, it means no kids in schools, no graduations, no weddings, no Thanksgivings, no Christmas, no 4th of Julys together. Other than that, you'll have a wonderful life. Can't see anybody, but that's all right. Being sarcastic in his remarks is what he's saying. He also appeared at another rally overnight, and he referred to California Gavin Newsom's recent remark that California diners will have to keep their mask on between bites while in a restaurant. And Trump said, in California, you have a special mask. You can't, you can eat under the mask. You can't eat directly through the mask. It's just, needless to say, I can eat through this mask. This is not a COVID-19 mask, of course. But he's painting Biden as the lockdown candidate. But how many stimulus checks is the lockdown candidate going to give you? Joe Biden, in turn, says, if I win, it's going to take a lot of hard work to end this pandemic. I do promise this. We'll start on day 1 doing the right things. We can't afford 40 more years of a president who'd rather spend his time desperately trying to strip people of their health care than ever once bothering to put forward a health care plan of his own. Interesting. So among the two candidates last night, neither said how many stimulus checks. No one said anything about FPUC. No one said anything about hazard pay. All they did was sort of talk about things that are sort of around stimulus, but not on point. Understand, as we sit here today, Joe Biden has never given you a stimulus package plan. He's never said how many stimulus checks he's going to give you. He's never said how much hazard pay or FPUC. Nancy Pelosi doesn't have a plan even past January. Her stimulus packages all expire in December or January. And on the other hand, Donald Trump only gives you a lot of promises but hasn't delivered. Offered you a stimulus check or promised you a stimulus check in June, July, August. Generous, more generous, never delivered it. Has the executive order authority to send out the stimulus checks. And where our purple power is focused is getting him on message. The day before, the president said he wants to send out a stimulus check. He said it again. I want to send out a stimulus check. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want you to have a stimulus check. All she wants to do is bail out big states and big governors. Ironically, one of the viewers asked me a really good question overnight, which is anyone really still talking about stimulus checks in Washington? I said, oh yeah. You're generally hearing the stimulus check comments now, ironically, from the president and Republicans, and you almost never hear it from Nancy Pelosi, and you never hear it from Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden has never even said the word stimulus check, ever that I have heard. So it's a really sort of strange dichotomy where the Democrats are trying to paint themselves as the big stimulus group, but their big stimulus doesn't have a lot of stimulus for you. It has a lot of stimulus for states and governments and salary raises. So what is that doing with the polls? Well, new poll numbers released overnight about the battleground states, and these are more battleground states than you normally hear me cover on this channel, are quite interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the state, and I'm going to show you who's ahead, and then I'm going to show you where Trump was 4 years from now, which is, you know, neither here nor there. Everyone expects someone to be better or worse over time, but I'm going to show you how things have changed. And I also want you to see how the race is still really up for grabs. So as the president does executive orders, sends out stimulus checks with that $800 billion of CARES Act 1 money that's still sitting around, 2 rounds of stimulus checks or a double round of $4,000 and then some FPUC after that, he could win this race. I mean, Lord, dude, wake up and smell the roses and send out the stimulus checks. What's important to understand is that yesterday I covered a lot of things that are correct. And I don't often spend a lot of time on this channel on things that are incorrect because I'm like, you know, why should I cover things that are incorrect? But when I see it happen a lot, I have to sort of push it back. Okay, there's a couple things that are incorrect that are floating all over the place. One, Nancy Pelosi's lawyers threatened the president about executive orders. No, untrue. Next, Donald Trump's lawyers threatened the president about executive orders. Also untrue. Third, all this money is in the Treasury. Untrue. All this money that's outside of Treasury needs act of Congress to approve. Non-true. All these things are sort of very, I don't know. I think Nancy Pelosi has some trolls out there, to be very honest with you, because I see these sort of comments jump in, and it's always very pro-Nancy Pelosi, and President Trump is acting unlawfully. It's just, you know, needless to say, of all the executive orders the president has ever done, all of them on stimulus have never gone to court. So that I just don't know where this is all coming from, this fake narrative. Let's get to the polls, which are really quite interesting. These polls are important for a couple reasons. One, you need to know not really who wins the presidency, but who wins the Senate. Because ultimately the Senate is the one that's going to determine whether you get a stimulus check and how much stimulus package you're going to get, second stimulus, third stimulus. And generally the states track both the Senate races and the president races. So when I tell you where they are, they'll also give you information about the Senate races. Arizona, Biden up by 84 to 86. 4 years ago, Trump won by 3.6%. Florida, Trump is in a dead heat in Florida now, it now says. Georgia, Trump is down by about 1 percentage point. 4 years ago, Trump won by 9.5%. Michigan, Trump is down about 9%. 4 years ago, Trump won by less than a percentage point. Minnesota versus Michigan. Minnesota. What did I just say? Minnesota versus Michigan? I'm sorry, they're not in the presidential race. Minnesota, Biden is leading by 6%. Clinton won that 1.5% 4 years ago. Nevada, Trump is down 5%. Clinton won it by 2.4. New Hampshire, Trump is down about 9 percentage points. Clinton won by 0.4. North Carolina, this one's really interesting. It now shows at 48.4 to 47.7. I mean, that's really close. It's less than 1 percentage point, and that's within the margin of error. Trump won that by 3.7% 4 years ago. Ohio, Trump is up about 0.6%. Trump won that 8.2%. 4 years ago. Pennsylvania, Trump's down about 4 percentage points. He won that by 0.7 4 years ago. Texas, Trump is in a dead heat in Texas. Trump won that 9.1 percentage points 4 years ago. I misstated Ohio. In Ohio, it's a dead race. And Trump won that 8.2% 4 years ago. Finally, Virginia, Trump is down about 8 percentage points. Clinton won that 4 years ago. So what's really interesting is it's now a dead race in Florida, Georgia, Ohio, and Texas, says at least this poll. And this is overnight. And then the rest of the races, the ones that are really not close are the ones that were not close for Trump 4 years ago. And the ones that are still close are all in within the margin of error, which basically says you don't know what's going to happen. That's a long way to say we just don't know what's going to happen. Let me go to some of your incredible comments in a second, but let me go over where we are today. What's important to understand is that for your second stimulus, you are owed these stimulus checks from the first stimulus package. And then what's coming up now is these lockdowns. These concerns about lockdowns in November, December, January are going to really hit hard. In the video after this, I'm going to go over more about those lockdowns. But the reason why I'm separating these stimulus packages for you is that I'm deeply concerned that Congress is going to say, oh, here you go in December, here's a stimulus package. You're going to look at it like, that's the one from May. Why are you paying me in December for stuff in May? Where's my checks for December and January and February? Oh, well, you know what? We just sort of put it together. That's really my concern. And so the important news and the good news is that we remain focused, we remain positive. If you did not watch Purple Power last night, it was a great recording in which I really try to get you motivated. All right, let me go over some incredible comments and questions from last night. Jody Porter, it's pretty bad when our government takes care of other countries but won't take care of their own country. David, the neglect of human lockdowns with no stimulus, and this was terrible. Missy Daniel, everyone and everything is going crazy right now. Beverly Mills, LA, you're great, and Purple Power, stay strong. We can do this. Lene, haven't done anything for 7 months. They want us to vote for them for 4 years? Hell no. Heart. We need our money now. We can't wait 6 more years. Charlotte, good morning. These kids are going to go without Christmas. Thank you, all these dumbbells. Lori Mendoza, Burger King and Nancy Pelosi's special day. It's called Whopper Wednesday. Temple of Doom needs to get her on a broom and get to her tomb and let the legislation zoom. I love that. That's wonderful. Paul Peterson. Spectre Gadget. Remember, the money has nothing to do with the Treasury. So then again, it doesn't require Pelosi's permission. Well said. And Dan C with a great comment as well. If you have comments on today's video, drop them in the comments below. As always, go to the front of the channel, subscribe, because who's going to watch for you better than you and me together? We get through this together with a mask, without a mask. And hope your kids have enjoyed this recording. Also, like this video. Coming up next is the continuation of Early Mornings LA at the bottom of the hour. At 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this video continues with more exciting news. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.